everyone. Welcome back to week 2. I'm so excited that you came back. So go ahead and get your week 2 materials out and we will get ready for the lesson. There wasn't very many materials. There's only one extra material that you may need at home, and if you don't have that available to you or someone to help you with it, then I will show you alterations on how to do this activity. So just 2 things. This was a web that we're going to use. And then these that we're going to cut out. So you'll need scissors, and if you aren't able to use scissors by yourself, ask someone to help you cut these, or you can have someone help you write the names of these on the map, or you can write them yourself, okay? And I will tell you kind of how to do that as we go along. So I already have all of mine pre-cut, and we will get to that a little bit. So what we're going to talk about today is what is in this bubble. What part do we eat? So in each part of the fruit or vegetable that we eat a different part, whether it be the flower, the stem, the root, the seeds, the fruit, or the leaf. Who knew? So many parts. And some of these may be really easy, and some of these you might not have guessed that. So I'm going to let you kind of do this activity on your own, and then we're going to come back and we'll discuss what card went underneath which category. So go ahead, take the time to cut these out and come back when you're ready. All right, so if you are ready to go ahead and start playing this little matching game, there are a couple items in your cards that you may not know or have seen before, so let me explain those before we go on with the activity. So one of them is radishes. So these are usually little red vegetables that grow in the garden. They're kind of got a little bit of a peppery taste, and people put them in salads. They're not always red, but they're usually red. Okay, so hopefully you have seen radish before, but if not, that's what they are. Next one will be parsley. This is a herb, actually, and they are to help help season foods. Okay, parsley. And the last one is asparagus. So they are green shoots that grow in the garden, and a lot of people grill them. They're really tasty. But if at any point in time you want to look some of these up on the computer or on a phone, if you have someone to help you with, go ahead and feel free to do that so you can get a little bit more of a visual since these are black and white. Okay, but otherwise I just wanted to explain those 3 just in case you had never heard of those. And if you still not quite sure what they are, that's okay. Put them off to the side and don't worry about those. Same goes with any of the other cards that you may have on that sheet. If there's another one that you don't understand or had seen them before, that's okay. Put them off to the side. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to take your map, and these are the parts of the plants right here. Okay, so you are going to take your cards and you are going to attach them, or just set them down under which category you think that you eat. So cucumber, where does cucumber go on this map? Okay, you can just lay it on top of the word, under the word, next to the word. This is just a map for reference, so if you go off the page, that's okay. Okay, and if you didn't get a chance to cut them, that's okay as well. Each of the cards have the name underneath them and how to spell them. You can write them underneath the map, and maybe you want to do that that way so you keep yourself a little bit more organized and you don't have cards floating around on the paper. That is okay too, whatever works best for you. So go ahead and go through all of these cards, get them either written down or place them in the categories, and then when you are ready, come on back and we'll go through the answers and talk through them. Okay, hopefully now that you've pressed play, you are ready to go through the answers. Mine are all lined up on my paper. And we're going to go through each individual category separately. So we're going to start at the top, left-hand side with the flower, and you should have 2 cards up there. And they're pretty similar ones, the cabbage, or the cauliflower, and the broccoli. So they both kind of grow similar. They both have cute little flowers that eventually bloom big, and then eventually these individual little heads, or these individual little nodules form. And that is, those are the flowers. So we are eating flowers technically when we eat cabbage or broccoli and cauliflower. Isn't that neat? Pretty cool. All right, next one down is stem. You should have 2. Celery and asparagus. So each of these little shoots are the stems, and same with asparagus. Each one of these individual pieces are the stems. Up here, kind of like our little flower pieces, but mostly this is the stem, and that's what we eat. Next category is root. You should have quite a few underneath root. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's start out with radishes, the one that I explained to you guys earlier. So we've got radishes. So this right here goes down deep in the ground is the main root. You don't really eat this part of it, but attached to it is still part of the root that is down deep underneath the ground. So if it grows underneath the ground, it's a root. And then up above are the leaves that are up here above the ground, but you actually can't eat the radish leaves. People do cut those up and put them in salads. It's not very common, but you actually can eat the entire radish. But we're looking at the bulb part of it, which is the root. Next up, potatoes. Very yummy. They also grow underneath the ground, so you actually plant what's called a seed piece. So when you get potatoes at the store, they eventually have these little nodules on the side of them, and those are called eyes, and those eventually grow shoots and then kind of finger out, and then they grow more potatoes, and that's kind of how they grow. But they grow underneath the ground, so they are a root. So let's go down next to sweet potato. Same thing, but they're orange. Sweet potato. Next one is onion. They grow underneath the ground, and they do form little roots underneath it, but most generally though, you eat the whole bulb, and that grows underneath the ground, so they're considered a root. Last one are carrots. Also, they grow underneath the ground, and the tops are edible as well, but we're talking about the bottom of the carrot. The next category are seeds. Most easiest one, sunflowers. Okay, so the sunflower seeds that we eat grow right here in the center. Next one were the pea pods. So the peas form an outer layer here. In some pea pods, you eat the entire thing, and then when you get like green peas from the can, the inside is what you're eating. So right here, since we're talking about the pea pod, which is the individual ones, we're putting it underneath seed because of that. Last one, yummy one, my most favorite one, corn. So all of these inside what you're eating are seeds. Pretty neat. Can't wait for corn season. Okay, second to last category. This one's a little bit bigger of one too, so that one was fruit. Okay, so this one was the tricky category for a couple of them, okay? So, if it has seeds inside of it, it's actually not a vegetable, it's a fruit. So, these here, the peas and the corn, could also be put in the fruit category because they are technically fruit, but we are eating the individual seeds, so that's why we put it in that category. So with that being said, the fruit category has cucumbers because it has seeds inside. What can cucumbers be turned into? Pickles. Peppers, because they have seeds inside. And any kind of pepper. We're talking hot pepper, sweet pepper, pepper goes underneath the fruit category because they have seeds. That means tomatoes go underneath there. They've got seeds inside. And lastly, pumpkins. They have seeds inside, so you can put that underneath fruit. But what do we also eat? we eat the pumpkin seeds, don't we? So if we were talking about the pumpkin seeds, we can put them underneath seeds. But we're talking about the main part, which is the fruit. So there are two kinds of pumpkins. There are pumpkins that we grow to eat, called pie pumpkins or sugar pie pumpkins. And then there are pumpkins that we grow for jack-o'-lanterns, the big ones that we cut into for Halloween, right? And then there's also gourds. Some gourds that we grow along with the pumpkins, some are edible and some are not. And the ones that we do eat would go underneath fruit. Last category. Has quite a few in there as well. So this is the leaf category. First one is cabbage. So we eat all the individual leaves. It forms one big head with a lot of leaves. Lettuce. Lots of kinds of lettuce. Here it looks like an iceberg lettuce. Spinach. We eat the leaves from the spinach. And lastly, parsley. So, from the parsley, they often kind of get a little bit bushy and are grown in a pot or a garden bed, but each one of these individual leaves is what we eat. We usually pluck them off the stem, chop them up, and then use them to season our foods. So, there's all the different categories of what parts we eat with fruits and vegetables. Each part of those parts of the plant, we eat them because they've got nutritional value, and they help our bodies grow big and strong. So I'm wondering, what else could we put in there? So what I would like you to do, if you were able to, is sometime, doesn't have to be today, doesn't have to be this week, but at some point in time, maybe you can talk to someone in your household about doing a taste testing. Maybe you can get different fruits and vegetables out, get them cut up, kind of taste them, see what they taste like. Maybe get some of these cards that you hadn't tasted before, like maybe if you haven't tasted or heard of parsley or the radish or the asparagus, or maybe you've never had broccoli before. It'd be kind of a nice experiment to kind of get them out and taste them and see if you like them and put them in categories. So if there's a fruit or a vegetable that you like that weren't in these cards, try to figure out where you would categorize them. Okay, so that's all we have for week 2. Like I said, you could take this a little bit further, do some taste testing, or name some other fruits and vegetables that weren't in these decks of cards and kind of categorize them and see where they would go. So until then, taste some fruits and vegetables. We'll see you on week 3.